Picture this. You open your eyes tomorrow morning and something's off. Your mind feels like wading through fog. Everyday tasks that once felt simple now take extra effort. Your joints complain with every movement, and your heart pounds not from excitement, but from the silent alarm of your body struggling to keep pace. Now pause. When was the last time you grasped someone's hand and truly felt that spark of connection? That reminder that you're alive, cherished, and part of something bigger than yourself? If you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s and have written off sexual intimacy as a chapter closed for good, I need you to listen closely. This isn't about fleeting pleasure or youthful fantasy. It's about reclaiming the very mechanisms that keep your brain sharp, your blood pumping efficiently, and your spirit buoyed by human warmth. For over 30 years, I've walked alongside men and women who believed they'd passed the point of no return, only to discover that a single intentional step toward intimacy can rewrite their health story. Today, I want to pull back the curtain on 4 hidden dangers that quietly creep into your life when intimacy fades. Accelerated brain aging, weakened circulation and hormonal imbalance, erosion of self-worth, and even a shortened lifespan. But here's the best part. You don't need grand gestures or perfect performance to turn the tide. A gentle touch, a heartfelt conversation, a moment of eye contact. These simple acts can reignite the pathways of connection that fuel your body, mind, and soul. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to take that first empowering step back toward a more vibrant, connected life. Consequence number 1, your brain ages faster. When intimacy fades from your life, it's not just your heart or your joints that feel a change first. Your brain does. Think back to George, a 72-year-old retired math teacher who walked into my office with a furrowed brow and the weight of concern in his eyes. He described feeling off, as if someone had dimmed the lights in his mind. Routine tasks became harder, and grabbing the right word in conversation felt like chasing after a will-o'-the-wisp. Yet every test I ran came back clean. No signs of dementia. No markers for a deeper illness. The missing piece came when George admitted that ever since his wife passed away 5 years ago, he hadn't experienced intimacy, physical or emotional even once. Blood flow and neurochemistry. Sexual arousal is like kickstarting a premium performance in your brain. When you feel desire or engage in intimate touch, your body pumps oxygen-rich blood toward areas responsible for memory, learning, and emotional regulation. The hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and limbic system. At the same time, your brain releases powerful neurochemicals. Dopamine, the reward molecule, sharpens focus and reinforces pleasure, motivating you to engage and learn. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, cements social bonds, reduces anxiety, and fosters a sense of safety. Endorphins, your natural painkillers, elevate mood and help regulate stress. When these chemicals flow regularly, they support neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, adapt, and keep growing. It's a built-in mechanism for lifelong learning that every human thrives on. What happens without it? Cut off that stimulation, and those neural pathways slowly wither. Imagine a gym where day after day, the weights get put away and the machines go unused. Over time, the muscles weaken. In your brain, motivation dips, curiosity wanes, and mental fog settles in. Suddenly, you might struggle to remember names, locate familiar places, or even follow simple instructions. Research shows that older adults who maintain an active, intimate life score higher on memory tests and display better executive function than those who do not. Real-life example. I once saw a woman named Helen, 68, who insisted her memory lapses were just old age. Then she joined a senior yoga group that incorporated partner exercises, holding hands in a circle, mirroring each other's movements, sharing eye contact, and laughter. Within weeks, she reported not only fewer senior moments, but an unexpected boost in her enthusiasm for daily life. She reread old novels, tackled crossword puzzles again, and even volunteered to teach at her local library. Personal note and practical takeaway. Consider intimacy as more than a romantic notion. It's one of the most effective brain workouts you can incorporate into your routine. The key isn't perfection or convention. You don't need a certain frequency or a specific act. What matters is consistent, meaningful connection. A gentle caress, a lingering hug, a shared smile, or an affectionate conversation. These moments spark the neurochemical cascade that keeps your mind agile and resilient. So next time you feel a cognitive slip or a flicker of mental fatigue, ask yourself, when was the last time I truly connected with someone face to face? And if that answer disturbs you, let it be a call to action. Reach out, lean in, and reignite those pathways of pleasure and bonding. Your brain will thank you for it. Consequence number 2, weakened circulation and hormonal decline. When sexual intimacy all but disappears, the ripple effects extend far beyond the bedroom. I remember talking with Linda and Carl, a couple in their late 60s who chalked up their dwindling desire to just getting older. But beneath that shrug lay a constellation of warning signs. Linda's energy flatlined, and Carl woke up fatigued even after a full night's sleep. Their muscles softened, they carried a few extra pounds, and simple walks left their joints complaining. What they didn't realize was that intimacy, far from being a luxury or indulgence, acts like a gentle all-body workout and a carefully calibrated hormonal orchestra. 1. The cardiovascular connection. Every time you share a warm embrace, a loving caress, or sexual activity of any kind, your heart rate goes up. That heavenly rush isn't just for excitement. It's an aerobic boost, heart strengthening. Your heart muscle contracts more vigorously, improving cardiac output and lowering resting blood pressure over time. Vascular health. Blood vessels repeatedly dilate and contract, keeping arterial walls flexible and resilient. This combats stiffness and reduces the risk of hypertension and atherosclerosis. Oxygen delivery. Increased circulation ensures that every organ, from your kidneys to your brain, receives the oxygen it needs to function optimally. Without these periodic surges in blood flow, circulation becomes sluggish. Think of it like an irrigation system. When pumps run regularly, water reaches every corner of the field. When they stall, the soil dries and cracks. In your body, sluggish circulation can manifest as cold extremities, slow healing wounds, and a general decline in organ function. 2. Hormonal harmony disrupted. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's deeply hormonal. In men and women alike, sexual activity triggers a cascade of endocrine signals that regulate mood, metabolism, bone density, and more. Men, testosterone's role. Baseline support. Regular sexual stimulation helps maintain healthy testosterone levels, which support muscle mass, bone strength, libido, and overall vitality. Without stimulation, testosterone production dips. The result? Chronic fatigue, stubborn weight gain especially around the midsection, irritability, and even depression. Women estrogen and oxytocin synergy. Estrogen benefits. Preserves bone density, maintains joint lubrication, and supports cardiovascular health. Oxytocin benefits. Promotes relaxation, reduces stress, and fosters social bonding. When intimacy fades, estrogen and oxytocin levels drop, increasing the risk of osteoporosis, painful joints, mood swings, and heightened anxiety. These shifts don't scream alarm overnight. Instead, they creep up. You might blame your creaky knees on old furniture, or your low mood on gloomy weather, never realizing that the hormonal lull from reduced intimacy is the real culprit. 3. Real-life example. Reclaiming balance. Take my patient Richard, 69, who confessed that he and his wife hadn't been intimate in over 3 years. He'd gained 15 pounds, his blood pressure crept upward, and he'd lost his get up and go. Together, we implemented a simple plan. Nightly 10-minute rituals of touch, hand-holding, back rubs, and shared laughter. No pressure, no expectations beyond presence. Within 6 weeks, Richard not only shed 6 pounds, but noted that his joints felt looser. He slept more soundly, and he approached his morning walks with renewed enthusiasm. 4. Expert tip. Presence over performance. You don't need intercourse to restore these physiological benefits. The science is clear. It's the quality of connection that matters. Warm hug. A 20-second embrace elevates heart rate and releases oxytocin, lowering stress hormones. Gentle massage stimulates circulation in the skin and underlying tissues, while signaling the brain to release endorphins. Shared cuddle encourages synchronized breathing, promoting calm and enhancing blood oxygenation. Focus on consistent, meaningful touch rather than checking off a task. Schedule a daily 5 to 10-minute window for affectionate contact. Treat it as sacrosanct as brushing your teeth, an essential ritual for lifelong health. 5. Turning it around. If you recognize these signs in yourself or a loved one, take action now. Start small. Set a timer for a brief candlelit chat or a shared cup of tea with a hand on each other's arm. Monitor how your energy, mood, and physical symptoms evolve over the coming weeks. You'll likely be surprised by how quickly your circulation perks up and your hormonal balance begins to right itself. Remember, intimate connection isn't an optional extra. It's a core component of healthy aging. By nurturing the tender moments of touch and closeness, you give your heart, your blood vessels, and your endocrine system the gentle workout and harmony they need to keep you vibrant for years to come. Consequence number 3. Relationship strain and lost self-worth. Intimacy is the thread that weaves two lives together into a shared tapestry of trust, vulnerability, and mutual care. When that thread frays or snaps, the damage often goes unspoken, and yet it cuts deeply. I'll never forget Margaret, a 74-year-old woman caring for her husband through a grueling cancer treatment. Over time, their physical closeness evaporated. One afternoon, she confided in me with tears in her eyes. "I miss feeling like someone's partner, not just their nurse." That single sentence revealed a gulf of loneliness and grief she'd carried in silence. 1. The emotional fallout, withdrawal and misinterpretation. When couples stop sharing moments of tenderness, whether a morning kiss, an affectionate touch on the arm, or a late-night cuddle, they often begin to drift apart emotionally. One partner may interpret the silence as lack of interest. The other may feel too guilty or ashamed to initiate. Over time, both retreat inward, fostering a cycle of resentment and self-protection. Guilt, shame, and anxiety. Caregiving can eclipse the needs of both parties. The spouse who provides care may convince themselves that physical affection is trivial compared to survival, while the one receiving care may feel burdensome and unattractive. This dynamic breeds shame and anxiety, eroding self-esteem and the belief that one is still worthy of love and desire. Single and feeling irrelevant. For seniors who are widowed, divorced, or never married, the absence of intimacy can translate into an internal monologue. "I'm too old. Nobody wants me anymore." This creeping sense of irrelevance can stifle social engagement, discourage new friendships or romantic pursuits, and aggravate feelings of isolation. 2 real-world examples. The touch ritual intervention. Research and clinical practice alike underscore the power of small, consistent gestures. I once worked with Dan and Sheila, both 68, who'd been married 40 years, yet hadn't held hands in months. We introduced a weekly touch ritual. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., they sat on their porch swing, held hands for 5 minutes, and shared one thing they appreciated about the other. Outcome after 6 weeks: increased positivity. Both reported feeling lighter and more playful. Improved communication. Compliments became regular rather than reserved. Heightened engagement. They resumed date night walks, inspired by that simple reconnection. Though passion remained calm and mature rather than fiery, the underlying message was powerful. You still matter to me. 3. Self-worth reclaimed through connection. Rebuilding intimacy isn't about grand gestures. It's about restoring the sense of mutual value. Here's how seniors can begin to heal relationship strain and lost self-worth. Create a safe space for dialogue. Schedule a weekly check-in, where each person shares one hope and one fear about their relationship. Reintroduce non-sexual touch, a hand on the shoulder, a gentle back rub while watching TV, or brushing hair aside. All reaffirm worthiness of closeness. Express appreciation aloud, verbalizing gratitude for everyday efforts. "Thank you for making my coffee. I love how you laugh." Rebuilds emotional bonds. Seek guided support. Couples counseling or support groups for older adults can normalize these challenges and offer practical tools. For the ripple effect on well-being. When intimacy is restored, even in modest ways, self-esteem blossoms. People report lower anxiety and depression. Regular affectionate contact elevates oxytocin and endorphins, counteracting negative emotions. Renewed social confidence. Feeling valued in a primary relationship often translates into more willingness to engage socially. Enhanced physical health. Emotional happiness supports better sleep, stronger immunity, and a more active lifestyle. Key takeaway: losing intimacy doesn't have to mean losing your sense of self or your connection with the one you love. By embracing small, consistent acts of touch, open communication, and mutual appreciation, seniors can repair relationship strain, reignite feelings of worthiness, and rediscover the joy of being truly seen and cherished. Consequence number 4. You may be shortening your life. When we think of longevity, we often focus on diet, exercise, and medical screenings. But emerging research shows that regular intimate connection is equally vital. Consider Robert, an 81-year-old retiree I cared for who defied every stereotype about aging. Each morning, he'd tease his wife with a wink and a playful compliment. Each night, they'd share a warm embrace before bed. Despite his advanced age, Robert moved with surprising agility, maintained healthy blood pressure, and reported sleeping more soundly than many of his younger peers. Proven data on intimacy and survival. A landmark study published in the British Medical Journal tracked over 1,200 adults aged 60 to 84 for 10 years. Researchers found that participants who engaged in sexual activity at least once a month had a 37% lower mortality rate compared to those who were sexually inactive. This association held true even after controlling for other health behaviors like smoking, alcohol use, and exercise levels. In other words, the protective effect of intimacy was statistically independent and remarkably robust. The biology behind longer life. Oxytocin's anti-inflammatory power. Dubbed the cuddle hormone. Oxytocin surges during affectionate touch. Beyond fostering emotional bonds, oxytocin downregulates pro-inflammatory cytokines, molecules that, when chronically elevated, contribute to heart disease, arthritis, and neurodegeneration. Endorphins and stress reduction. Endorphins released during intimacy act as natural painkillers and mood enhancers. They counteract cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Chronically high cortisol accelerates cellular aging, impairs immune function, and increases the risk of metabolic syndrome. Improved sleep architecture. Physical closeness, especially before sleep, elevates levels of melatonin and promotes deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. Quality sleep is intricately linked to cardiovascular health, insulin sensitivity, and cognitive resilience. Boosted immunity. Studies show that people with active sex lives produce higher levels of salivary immunoglobulin AIGA, an antibody that defends against respiratory and gastrointestinal infections. Stronger immune defenses translate into fewer illnesses and quicker recoveries. Chronic illness and premature death. The hidden costs. Without these protective neurohormonal effects, seniors face a stealthy erosion of health. Persistent low-grade inflammation contributes to atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, and diabetes. Elevated stress response raises blood pressure, disrupts glucose metabolism, and weakens heart muscle over time. Fragmented sleep leads to daytime fatigue, impaired cognition, and higher risk of falls. Weakened immunity increases vulnerability to flu, pneumonia, and other infections that carry higher mortality in older adults. Over a decade, these factors accumulate, transforming what could have been years of vibrant living into hospital visits, chronic medication regimens, and ultimately, a shortened lifespan. Actionable insight. Intimacy as preventive medicine. If we regard intimacy as a daily health ritual, akin to brushing teeth or taking a stroll, it becomes easier to prioritize. Here's how to integrate it. Daily connection ritual. Commit to a few minutes of affectionate touch each day. Holding hands during your morning tea, sharing a gentle back rub before bed, or simply gazing into each other's eyes. Mindful presence. During these moments, focus fully on your partner. Notice the warmth of their skin, the rhythm of their breathing, and the emotional resonance of shared vulnerability. Broaden the definition. Intimacy isn't confined to sex. Dancing slowly in your living room, exchanging heartfelt letters, or laughing at a shared memory all trigger beneficial neurohormonal responses. Track your rituals. Keep a simple journal noting your connection moments and any changes in mood, sleep quality, or energy. Seeing progress on paper reinforces consistency. By reframing intimate connection as low-dose, high-impact medicine, you harness one of the most powerful natural prescriptions available. without pills, side effects, or copays. Just human touch, shared presence, and the knowledge that you are seen, valued, and loved. Over time, these small investments pay dividends in reduced inflammation, balanced hormones, deeper sleep, stronger immunity, and ultimately, more years of flourishing life. Turning it around. Never too late to reconnect. Every journey toward renewed intimacy begins with a single courageous step. Take Eleanor, for example. At 78, she believed her woman years were behind her, buried beneath decades of routine and caregiving. Then one afternoon, sipping coffee with her partner, she voiced a simple truth. "I miss feeling like me." That moment of honesty cracked open a door. They looked into each other's eyes over that morning cup, letting unspoken longing surface. From there, they reclaimed the small gestures that had once fueled their connection. Practical starter moves. Schedule affection breaks. What? Block out just 5 minutes each day dedicated solely to touch. How? Hold hands while watching TV. Give a gentle shoulder massage before bedtime. Or sit side by side with arms around one another. Why? Regular, predictable moments of physical closeness reinforce safety and trust, reminding both partners they still matter. Open dialogue. What? Carve out time for an uninterrupted conversation. How? Share one favorite memory from your life together. Perhaps your first date or a holiday that made you laugh until you cried. Why? Recalling joyful experiences reignites positive emotions and strengthens emotional bonds. Explore new rituals. What? Introduce fresh, playful traditions. How? Put on an old favorite song and dance slowly in the living room. Or surprise each other with handwritten love notes tucked into a jacket pocket or on the bathroom mirror. Why? Novel experiences release dopamine, creating excitement and anticipation that break the monotony of daily routines. Seek support when needed. What? Enlist professional guidance. How? Connect with a counselor or sex therapist who specializes in senior intimacy and can offer tailored advice, whether it's adapting positions for physical limitations or navigating emotional barriers. Why? Expert support provides practical strategies and reassures couples that seeking help is a sign of commitment, not failure. Reconnecting as a single person. If you're single, widowed, or simply seeking self-rediscovery, intimacy begins with you. Gentle self-massage. Spend a few minutes each day exploring self-soothing touch, massaging your hands, neck, or feet to cultivate awareness and appreciation of your own body. Nurture friendships. Schedule regular phone or video calls with close friends. Laughter and shared vulnerability in platonic relationships also release oxytocin and reinforce your sense of belonging. Join social clubs. Participate in local groups or classes focused on art, dance, or book discussions. Building new connections can gradually reawaken your capacity for trust and closeness. Key takeaway: no matter your age or circumstances, intimacy is an innate human need that fuels physical health, emotional well-being, and life satisfaction. By taking small, intentional steps, whether hand in hand with a partner or through self-directed care, you can rekindle the very spark that makes you feel alive. Remember, it only takes one heartfelt conversation, one tender touch, or one new ritual to open the door to deeper connection and joy. It's never too late to begin again. Clear lesson and takeaway: your ability to connect, both through touch and heartfelt communication, is more than just an emotional luxury. It's a core marker of thriving as you age. When you deprioritize intimacy, you set off a cascade of hidden consequences. Your brain loses its natural boost of blood flow and neurochemicals. Your heart and vessels slow down. Your hormones fall out of balance. And your most important relationships start to fray. Over time, these effects don't just dim your day-to-day vitality. They can shave years off your life. By consciously nurturing connection, you flip that script. A simple handhold sparks a release of dopamine and oxytocin that sharpens your mind and soothes stress. A kind word or loving glance strengthens your emotional bond and fuels resilience. Regular affectionate moments act like low-impact exercise for every system in your body, improving circulation, leveling hormones, and boosting immunity. They also rebuild self-worth, reminding you and your partner that you truly matter to one another. So here's the takeaway. Treat intimacy as essential self-care, not optional. Schedule small rituals of touch, foster open conversations, and stay curious about new ways to share closeness. These intentional acts become powerful, compounding investments in your brain health, physical well-being, relationships, and ultimately, the length and quality of your life. It's never too late. Your next step toward connection could be the most important one you ever take. Call to action. If this message resonated with you, here's what to do next. First, hit that like button. It lets me know this topic matters to you and helps more people discover these vital insights. Then subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you'll be notified the moment I share new strategies designed to keep your body, mind, and relationships thriving well into your golden years. Now, I want to hear from you. If you're ready to take that very first step toward rekindling connection, whether it's a simple touch, a candid conversation, or a new ritual that restores intimacy, drop a 1 in the comments below. Maybe you already have a story about how small moments of closeness change your life. If so, please share your experience. Your words could be the spark someone else needs to break free from isolation and rediscover joy. And if you have questions, doubts, or ideas for future videos, let me know. This community thrives on real voices and real journeys. Remember, it's never too late to reignite the spark, rebuild bonds, and write the next, most fulfilling chapter of your life. Here's to stronger connections, brighter days, and the vibrant years ahead, starting right now.